Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our Business by Design Summit. And today in my hot seat, I have Mia Saenz. She is a transformational love coach. I have spoken with her before and know her personally, and you're in for a great treat today as we talk about self-love and business and how those are connected. And she just let me know that she is technically in 3 zip codes, California, Miami, and Argentina. So she is easily found all over the world. Thank God for the internet, right? So hi, Mia. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Carrie. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for having me.
Oh, you just look amazing. Doesn't she look great against that red? I think that's her power color for sure.
Thank you. I love it.
Good stuff. It's good stuff. So how did you get into the self-love part? I mean, that's a journey all by itself, as you and I have shared in the past. What kind of pulled you into this part of business for yourself?
Wow, it's really crazy. I'll be kind of brief because, stories like this that are really good and juicy can take hours upon hours upon hours. But I had a really rough childhood, very, very rough. I was raised metaphysical, but there was a lot of abuse. So there was not a lot of self-love. I hid, I was shy, even though I was a dancer and a cheerleader and an athlete, I hid behind my older sister who was doing modeling and stuff like that. And I never thought I was pretty enough. I never thought I was good enough. So being hidden behind things, you eventually have to work on your self-love or you don't get anywhere. So bringing us forward all these years was, I was literally dying. And it was about 8 years ago that I woke up on my birthday, a prominent birthday, and I said, wow, I've never been really happy. I love my children, so grateful that I have children, but I've never really been happy. So what would that look like? So this started my process of dream, believe, create, which is I dreamed the most magnificent life that I could create in all the areas. That meant my relationship with a man, and I didn't see my husband at the time, and I saw a different man there, and how I could look physically too, because I was very ill at the time. What kind of a business I could create, what my relationship with my friends and my children would look like. Not what they would look like, but what the relationship would look like. So, and with all of that, it was so incredibly powerful. I mean, it was literally like the Red Seas parted, and all of a sudden, I had the choice to create this life, and I wanted it so badly. I'm telling you, Carrie, so badly, because when you're dying, and you know that you're going to be out in 2 years, like the doctors say, you either jump or you just continue on your path. I jumped. So my leap of faith brought me to that point of belief and into creating. And literally, I started creating in a matter of, that day. I started planning on how I would, at the time I was in a wheelchair, which I'm not, from an accident. So I had to create what I could, physically handle, build my inner core, lose some weight, get in shape. Didn't even know how my mind would come back after being having really major depression after 9/11. I mean, so bad that my frontal lobe burnt out when I had a psychotic break. I hate to say that, but it's true. And I got the help I needed to get me on my path. But what that did was it made me sleep 20 hours a day. So this is a really big thing. You see a woman who is close to 300 pounds at the time, who can't really think, communicate, or talk, is only awake for 4 hours a day, and those were broken up between 4-hour naps, and she had children and a family. So when I took that leap of faith, and I did a lot of praying and talking to God, and really coming back to center, it was easy. It was just for the first time in my life. It was like no more self-sabotage, jumping out of this garbage. And even though I had been practicing self-love since I was a young woman, many, many years, it was different. It was different this time. I used to wear my hair in a ponytail, never look at myself in the mirror. Used to have help after the accident getting cleaned and changed. So this was a huge step, honey. This was a huge step. And I did it. And it took me less than, let's see, my birthday is August 14th. And I knew that by January 1st, 2009, I would hit the ground running at the gym, on my food program, and in the meantime of creating all this, building my inner core, getting out of the chair, finding a program, all this, I was losing weight. So by the time January 1st, 2009 came around, I had already lost probably 30 pounds, but I lost an additional 140 pounds in 7 months, no surgery, heart-mind connection. I worked out twice a day, and I also ate very clean, very well. And my mind opened up. My memory came back. Everything that they didn't think would ever happen again totally reversed itself. And so in gratitude, I wanted to give to the world what I had learned. So that's how I came in here, through pure passion and love. In fact, I was branded for many years the Passion Muse, which I gave up to rebrand myself who I am. It's just been an incredible journey. Incredible journey.
A Passion Muse. I remember you telling me about that. So exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting. It does it just, you know, and honestly, I love the part that you talk about, because it really is dream, believe, create. That's what you said, correct? And so the dreaming part is kind of like almost opening the door in your mind, is how I always refer to it. Open the door in your mind first, and then you start to take the steps. Because what happens if you take the steps and you're still in your head saying this will never happen?
You can't even take, you can't even really take the steps, because what you do, you'll self-sabotage yourself. You'll destruct your path that you're on, and you'll just go back to where you were before. So it was a lot of mindset, which I didn't even realize at the time, a lot of mindset and focus, determination. And I got there. I got there very fast. Who loses 140 pounds in 7 months?
Crazy. That's crazy.
It is crazy. Plus, I got published for the first time. I had written for years. I got published for the first time. Just left my husband, started my new life, and it was beautiful. My life was beautiful. Just totally beautiful. And we can all create. Yeah, even in our lives, with our mates, we can still recreate magic there.
Absolutely. I love that. So confidence in business, we talked about that a little bit. And, you know, I think about this, and this is the one challenge I have a lot. I coach mostly women. I have a few men in there, but they don't seem to have the confidence challenges. They're just like, I want to make money. You know? Make me famous.
Exactly.
Yeah. Women, they're, well, should I do it? What do you think? Should I wear this? Should I wear that? Do the shoes look okay? I mean, it's all that self-doubt creeps up, and it bubbles up often. And I work with some amazing women where you look at them and you're like, how do you not know you're already a rock star? How do you not know this girl? You know, you're like, you need me to encourage you. So show us how important it is in the confidence side of business and the self-love, and how important that is just to be successful.
Well, the self-love aspect does bring that true confidence, not something false like false bravado, but true inner confidence. And when we work on that, there's a light, literally, that comes from within and outward. I remember a couple years back, I was told by somebody at a party, a woman, she said, we were out by the pool having drinks at some hotel after a party, and she said, you're quite masculine. And I said, really? I've only been told I'm feminine. And so another friend said, I think what she means is you're very confident and you're not going to take crap. And so I was like, wow, okay, I take that. I honor that, because it was built within myself. Remember, I said I was so shy. I couldn't even do hardly anything. I couldn't be the best cheerleader, the best dancer, because I was shy. I'm in front of the camera all the time. I'm talking to people internationally, and I globetrot, apparently, by my time zone. So it's incredible when we can bring it back to us and empower us with that confidence. Now, it does take understanding who you are. Your self-discovery is the most important thing. And then after self-discovery, I say mindset and focus. When we retrain our brain is when we can do magic that normally we didn't think that we could do at all. And life is all about creating. And when you look at it in that perspective, in that place, you can fly like a beautiful bird instead of, you know, fluttering in a mud hole down on the ground. I prefer to fly instead of playing in the mud. I mean, sometimes mud's fun, but you know what I mean.
Exactly. So what is the difference, self-love and conscious self-love you talk about too? I think I've gotten to the point where I've worked on myself enough where it's subconscious almost, like I've auto-programmed to just, did we take care of Carrie today?
Right.
Kind of goes through. So explain the difference of that.
Yeah, and I would say that mine is too, except for when I teach it. And I also do it on myself, conscious self-love. Conscious self-love is jumping past just the self-love. The self-love, there's so many methods. There's thousands of ways to nurture ourselves, from candles to music to mantras to anything that's positive for us. But the conscious self-love is consciously put in the intention that we are worth it, that we are loved, that we are amazing. So here's an example. Besides the homework that I give, and everybody knows I give homework, the mirror work and the inner child process meditation. Besides that, I tell people, for conscious self-love, put that conscious intention that you are amazing. So when you're making your coffee or tea in the morning, you actually are talking to yourself and letting yourself know that you are worth this amazing time that you're having. Now, when I was a child as a metaphysician, we might have called that brainwashing. But when I look at it now, I look at it and realize, and this is through the thousands of clients that I've helped. So we are sponges, and our body absorbs everything. Our brain absorbs it, our body absorbs it. So why not tell ourselves exactly what we've never heard? This is the big deal, is that we have never been told how amazing we are. Society, churches, religion, everything gets in our way, and we have layers upon layers of garbage that are not even ours that were placed there. So that's what limits people in their confidence, in their ability to step out from that old belief, or the word paradigm, that old thought process, into something new. When you want it, you practice, practice, practice until it becomes second nature. So the conscious self-love is putting the intention that you're worth it. So even creating a yummy meal for your family, you're putting in that you love them, that you are so grateful for the food you have. And look at, isn't it beautiful? I chose amazing, zucchini today to cook, or whatever it is. So when you have that love in there, you're also absorbing it internally through the way you eat. So it's everywhere around us. So it's kind of like this amazing matrix of molecular energy moving around. It's beautiful, and it should be in our life path 24/7. Even subconsciously, when we begin to train ourselves, then we're going to naturally treat ourselves kinder, more loving, which will remove the inner critic and the self-sabotage, all the things that stop us from progressing to be who we truly are.
I love that. So talk to my coffee in the morning.
I'll talk to you about how good your coffee is.
Yes.
Meaning that I am so excited to make this coffee because this is great for me. I'm enjoying this moment with me and honoring each step that you do for yourself, even brushing your teeth, washing your hair, taking your bath, whatever it is. Make sure that you're elevated so that everything is a blessing. Everything becomes a blessing. And the more we do this with our mindset and focus on creation, the easier it is. So instead of taking, weeks or months to get through one little thing, we do it like that. We do it in a snap. It becomes magic to us.
Exactly. I think I catch myself doing that. It's like, oh, this is my favorite coffee. It's the best kind. I got it in my hometown. It's only brewed once a year. I only get this, and that kind of stuff. It's a reward.
And
like,
also,
again,
right? And I'm worth it. And I'm worth having this. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the important part.
One thing. Yeah.
I'm worth it. I deserve this because this is amazing. So I deserve this moment. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty. It's so simplistic, but it's so perfect, isn't it?
Yes, just say I'm worth it after it, because I'm grateful, so I'm doing gratitude and sending that out there. But the I'm worth it part, I get to attach to it now. So because I'm all about senses too, and essential oils, and even the face wash, it has to have this happy smell, and so that you're going through the motions and loving yourself and getting ready or whatever. It just makes it more fun. But adding the I'm worth it, I like that. I'm gonna add that in.
Good.
Back to the I'm worth it part too, because this comes up with money, is a lot of the shaming of, oh, I can't believe I spent that much on those shoes. You're standing at the checkout, you're like, wow, I really got carried away today. You're like, I guess I needed some retail therapy. But again, I've noticed, I've started to go, you work hard, Carrie, you get to have that, and you're worthy of that. So that's another spot where I see people, especially women, and especially moms, that are always taking the last of everything and the smallest piece of this, and just kind of putting themselves last on the list. So beautiful, beautiful stuff. So tell us some more tools if you can. Give me all your tools.
Okay. But I want to address the shopping thing, because that's a big thing for women especially, and even some men. If you overdo it, just say you overdo it, you bring 10 pair of shoes up, And your automatic thing is, because you don't have this confidence within yourself, your automatic thing would be, okay, I'm going to pay for those 10 shoes because I cannot return them right now. I'm humiliated. Or you don't even think about it, and you just feel stressed out, but you have no clue what it is until you get home. What it is, when you get home and you realize, oh my goodness, and this is a tool too, oh my goodness, I've overspent here or there because financially I don't have it. There's treating ourselves right, and then there's being smart about our money. So in that case, bring it forward and just say, I want to be aware the next time that this happens. Make me aware before I actually hand them my card. And it might take a couple more times to be aware, but you will retrain yourself into saying, wait a minute, that's crazy. I have the money for 5 shoes, not 10 shoes, or I have the money for 2 shoes, not 10 shoes. Whatever it realistically is, it's okay. And yes, put yourself first, because you are important. But also, you don't want to get yourself buried in bills because you bought 10 shoes instead of 2 that you needed at that time. Just wait a couple weeks and get a couple pair more. However people work their stuff. All of that is a self-love. And that's a tool of identifying and retraining ourselves by stating, I want X, Y, and Z. I want to behave this way. I want to do this. And people don't realize that the moment we put it out there is when things start to change. So that's a major tool too. So as I have shared with Carrie before, because Carrie and I love to do interviews together, and so I have 2 major top hitting tools, and it's really great. Recently I was reviewing some self-love with a self-love teacher, and who came to me and she said, this is truly, university level. And I said, it absolutely is. So no matter how simplistic it sounds at first, just follow it and you'll feel the change. So grab a notepad that you're going to take into the bathroom. The first tool is the mirror work. And a lot of people do mirror work, but the way that it was presented to me as a spiritual interpretation, a download, however you want to call it, was when I was standing in front of the mirror when I was in my very early 20s. So this was 27 years ago. I was standing in front of the mirror and I said to myself, I love you. And I bursted out crying. And I said, no, I don't, I hate you. So obviously there was a disconnect there. And I find most of my clients, most of the people that come to me have a disconnect. And the reason we do this work, and I alluded to it before, is nobody will tell us how amazing we are. When we're born, we're these beautiful, spiritual, perfect little beings. And we cry through birth. We want to be fed. We want to be held. We want to be changed. And those things don't happen to us when we want them to happen. And so remarks are put on us that darn baby can't wait, this or that, and then it goes through elementary school. So as most of you know, from 0 to 8 are our formative years of growing who we are. And so when we remove all that stuff through the mirror work by saying, I love you, is when everything comes up. Yes, shit hits the fan, but this is when we become clear with ourselves. So if we keep going through weeks upon weeks, and we do this daily, this work for like 3 minutes a day, looking in front of the mirror, I love you. And if an emotional distress comes up each time and you're writing it down in your book, then you're going to ask yourself, okay, why? You're asking your higher self, you're asking the divine, you're asking Creator, God, whatever you call your higher source, why is this happening? And most of the time when you begin to listen, you will find your answer. All of the time you'll find your answer if you're listening and have tuned into how to listen. And it'll tell you, when I was 5 or 6, or whatever, just here's the situation. Kids beat me up at school because they thought I was ugly. I'm unlovable. The stories I hear from people, they rip my heart out. But of course I have to separate from that. Or I personally was called the ugly duckling by my mother. So, but one day I'd grow up to be a beautiful swan. So until I was in my 40s, I thought I was an ugly duckling. So what people say is very damaging. So reverse it by talking to yourself and bringing in the love. Again, we absorb it, we're sponges, and on a cellular DNA level, our body needs to hear it. And we really can retrain ourselves by the way we talk to ourselves and what we're listening. Because if we say negative things, and that's another tool, get out all negative talk. Because guess who's listening? You are. You're listening to yourself say horrible things. I'm afraid, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm skinny, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable. Who would want me? And I say to you, who would want you? Everybody. You are amazing. So when you work that through the mirror work, it's very, very powerful. At some point, if you haven't already, you'll have a beautiful elevation in the way you see yourself. So you will keep doing this for several more months. And I'm sure that in between your tools that you're working on, the mirror work, a point will come up when you'll feel like you've taken a couple steps back. Guess what? That's life. And so the reason we have our notebook is to refer back so that we can see, yes, I was not liking myself, then I did like myself, and then, oh, that's right, I was in a car accident, or I got in a fight with my mate, or my best friend and I are now angry, or my sister says she hates me, or whatever the silly thing is that comes up. We realize that it's not us. Again, it's external forces coming in to shift who we are. So as we grow in our grace, those don't happen because we understand, wait a minute, why am I not feeling good? Why? And I ask myself this too all the time. I was off for a couple days. Today I'm like, fantastic, on again. And I had to look and see what was going on. And it was because I was supposed to shoot a video that I didn't feel comfortable with. And I didn't feel comfortable with because I was going through my own self-sabotage. And although it doesn't come up except for very, very rarely, it hit me a few days ago. So, back on track like I am today. If we do this, we do work through it. Now, another major and wonderful way to shift ourselves is through the inner child meditation. We're raising ourselves from a baby. We redo it. Now, the way this is done is you listen to my voice through the process, and I take you down to relax, and you go into a space that's your own private making. It's like your own cabin, and you meet the younger you. And we start at 3, and we go the odd years up to 17. And the reason we do odd years is because those are formative years. A lot happens, at least in the United States, in this culture, a lot happens. Nursery school, kindergarten, 1st grade, then 4th grade when you start to think at 9 that you're so powerful. And then you get your little booty kicked by being out of going out of elementary school into middle school, and then it's all scary again. So it's really important to work through. And we can change the energy around different traumatic things. In that moment, in that meditative process, you can recreate your energy around an experience. And that's where the power within yourself shifts and changes. That's where you grow. That's where you literally will begin to see your inner child, your younger self, fall in love with you. You, of course, love that little being because it's who you are and you want him or her to grow. So when you're talking to that little beautiful being, many people tell me, because we do this over our homework every week, okay, so how did your inner child go? And a lot of people say, she's still angry with me. And so then we'll get into, why is she angry with you? What happened during this time? Why is she not feeling loved and supported? How was she let down? And so when you really look at that, you can really change how things are. Now again, our brain is incredible. It's a master upon masters. It can change and shift the way that we see things through energetically reworking a story. Doesn't mean that the facts have changed. The facts have still remained the same. Like when I was a child, I was abused physically by my mother. Those facts remain the same. The energy, as you can see, is removed. The energy is gone. I have become empowered. I have stepped out of victimhood, and I'm in an empowered place. So that's what we're doing. We're taking that negative energy and replacing it with a deeper understanding. For me, I understand that, one, I'm first a creation of, for me, I see myself as a creation of God's child. So my true parent is God, both male and female. My mother is just my human mother that birthed me, and God love her. I do love her. But it took a long time to work through that. So I reworked the energy from that abusive time, that negative time of no support, of anything that I thought was awful for most of my life. I reworked those things. And when we do that, it's part of the practice that we do for ourselves. And it's remarkable because our life changes. We see things differently, and we bring in easily magic. And I call it magic, and a lot of people call it magic, because when you're able to manifest things or create abundance, whether it's beautiful clients, money that flows, trips, houses, cars, whatever it is, when you're able to bring this in, it is magical. I have clients that tell me all the time that, or their spouses, Mia works magic. Well, what it is I just help people see their own beautiful clarity, their own divinity, their own worth. And so everyone has that within themselves. It's just how we retrain our brain.
I love that. Everyone's got that light inside of them. You're just helping them kind of clean off the glass so it shines brighter.
Use that white vinegar and you'll see very well.
Ooh, you're blinding me.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that you talked about magic, and you are magical, Mia. But more importantly, when people hear I manifested or I pulled it in, it doesn't quite attach. I'm talking to the logical people.
Right.
The businessmen that I've worked with in the past are like, we don't understand.
Or the ones we dated.
Woo-woo Carrie. Yes, that too. There's that woo-woo Carrie again, talking about she manifested these sales this past month and hit her goal. Like, okay, explain that. But and it's the law of attraction, The Secret, things like that nature too. Explain that kind of in a more logical sense for those that are the logic people on the planet that are watching this.
Sure. Well, the law of attraction is something that we bring in by putting out. So if our conscious attention is towards, say, a brand new car that's, say, a Lamborghini, and you are able to bring in the funds to do it or rework it somehow, that's where I call the magic. You'll acquire that. Mm-hmm. If these are better words. Now, manifestation is different because manifestation is understanding your true core and alignment to the divine. You have never been out of place from it. You are awakened to who and what you are, and so things flow through you almost as if it's as fluid as water. So I know, and I teach people because I've lived my whole life we used to call them healings or demonstrations. We didn't use the word manifestation when I was a child, being raised metaphysically, even though I had that crazy mom, which I love. The thing is that we would bring in, and it was my grandmother and my aunts that I learned all this from. So we would bring in things because we understand that it's our birthright. It's already ours. It's already here. It's almost like whatever excites you the most. So most of us were raised with a religious aspect of Christianity or sometimes. So I use Christmas morning. You could use your birthday, your wedding, whatever you want to, or my creation, whatever you want to think. But it's like opening up a closet door or a door into a room that's full of everything that you ever would need within this lifetime. So understanding, and it's almost like the Matrix when you think about it, it's recreating in our mind to know that we can actually obtain this. So I already have had, amazing blessings, manifestations of cars that I have loved, mates that I have been with, travel, experience, bringing in clients, and it's just already knowing that it's already there. So when you dream, believe, create your life, and you know that these things are already there, and you have this gut sense that they are already complete. I need to find my clarity on finding it. That is what true manifestation is. It's literally pulling it from these sources that already exist. We come with a care package at birth. Each human being does. Now, the ones who are watching this that don't understand this, and I've dated some of them, and so and my heart and love is still with them, they will never get it, because until they can leap from one point of working an everyday job, whether it's in the film industry, whether it's in the music industry, of course I'm pulling from people that I dated, whatever that beautiful job is, they're not going to elevate to a higher level of even bringing in money, of bringing in success, notoriety, until they change their perspective. So it's all about changing our perspective, which means we really have to change the way we think. And we have to eliminate all the negative aspects and bring in the positive. And a lot of that is gained through gratitude, through understanding your divine connection. There's so many ways to pull it in. I seem to utilize all of them, and that's perfect. I'm a good juggler, I guess. But whatever works for you, to make yourself in alignment, in a calmness, whether it's yoga and the practice of breathing and that type of focus work, you can bring that into your everyday life. I have never done proper yoga a day in my life. So for me to say that, I'm just showing you that it can be done in any way. I use my mindset and focus when I'm working out. I do it when I'm swimming. I do it when I'm on long walks. I don't do it at the gym though, because I'm like working on the dang machines. My point is you can quiet yourself, your whole total essence, and you bring in what you want. You literally are focusing in on clients, whether it's to get more clients for work. I do an energetic process. I also teach a business course, but I do an energetic process with my clients and even for myself, that I'm distributing invitations for people to come work with me. And this is an energetic process, internally, and it's in my mind and it's in my heart and I feel it in my body. And by the time I'm through with that, I am a friggin' rock star on whatever planet I want to be on. But I'm really pumped up and I really feel good. Now, if you want to here's a more simplistic way, if you want to start to get yourself pumped up so that you can shift and change into opening up your concept to manifest, watch something enlightening and powerful. Watch, I was going to say Bruce Willis, watch Will Smith. Watch any of these people that are incredible, that spend their life being successful just at being successful.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being a business success and being successful in life. Being successful in life means you're working on your business, you're working on your relationships, you're working on your body, you're working on your health, you're working on your love, you're working on your friendship, you're working on your spirituality or non-spirituality. But the point is you're working on you and all the aspects that are important. That's what brings success.
I agree. We've got so many facets to work on. Will Smith's a perfect example. Another person I've always been a fan of is Darren Hardy, because he walks the talk. He just does it. He's got this amazing relationship and family and success, obviously, in his life. Publisher of Success magazine. That might be part of it. People like that, it is the full circle, being exceptionally awesome over here and then sucking really bad over here just isn't in full balance anyway.
Exactly.
And it's not in alignment. You can tell those people are not in alignment. Something's off. So
you can tell who walks their talk. And it's a shift almost in, and when I talk about energy, I'm talking about the weather. The wind that you can feel on your body. So it's a shift within the energy around that person. Whether it's the light that you see, that they're bright, whether there's an essence on your skin, you're just like, whew, I'm in power or I'm in greatness here. It's people who walk their talk, you can feel it.
Always. We get the energy off of their copy, their content, their Facebook posts, and it's just, I'm one of those, if I learn something, the whole world's going to hear about it, and I'm going to probably beat it to that. That's just who I am. Did you read this? Even though I'm probably the last person to know. Let me tell the whole world.
That's sweet.
But hey, that's the joy I have. That's my gift to the world. I have a very big mouth. You will be informed before I leave this planet.
And that's important.
Yes. It's all good. Beautiful. I'm actually going to do the inner child meditation. I know you've offered it in the past. I don't think I've done it, so I'm going to do it totally tonight. Good. But talk about that, because we do, as we start to wrap up here, because I know you've got a time limitation here, and I want to be respectful of that. Talk about the gifts you have for us and our listeners today.
Yes. My CD came out at Thanksgiving time of 2014, and it was created originally to be sold on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, on miasaenz.com. It was made to be sold. I haven't been able to sell it because you cannot give a gift away like that and sell it too. There's restrictions with the bureaucracy. So believe it or not, in those 7 months that it's been, over 1,500 have been claimed. I mean, people are just like, whoa, I want that. So how can I take it away when it's been such a blessing? So the first track on there is the inner child meditation. I mentioned that to you guys I take you through a process where I relax you, and then you go in and you meet your inner self, and you recreate the energy and the story and the blessings with that beautiful being that you are. And you do this every week until you grow from each level, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, and 17. So it takes a long time, but I think you're worth it. Do you think you're worth it?
I know I'm worth it.
Yeah. So every week you do it. You don't need to do it before, but I wouldn't go really far off because you're losing your momentum. So when you're doing it and you go through it, you do not jump to another age until you actually know that that little being is happy and love and content. Things are healed. And then you wait 3 to 4 weeks after that, still doing it, to make sure she's or he is still very, very happy. So then that's when you move. So yes, could it take a year? It could take a year. But the emotional intelligent level that you become is worth that. It's worth no money. It's priceless. It literally is priceless. Do you want to lay in the everyday, or do you want to grow yourself so much that you are confident, happy, successful, prosperous, giving, joyous? For me, it's a no-brainer. So, and of course, you know, I'm the creator of it, so of course it's a no-brainer. But it wasn't for me. It was a download. So literally, I believe it was presented and I listened. The second track is called Contentment, and this was really exciting for me because there was a time when I had, you know, we go through groups of clients who all think the same or all want the same thing, and then they keep moving on to different things. You know, then you get a group in that wants to move to South Africa and another group that wants to write books. So what I'm saying is a group of them wanted to know what it was like to have God talking to them, which is very cool. So as a spiritual practitioner, that's also my thing. So that's what contentment is all about, is how beautiful you are, how amazing you are, how loved you are. And people write me and tell me that they use it as their morning treatments in the morning. So, you know, include it in your ritual if you want. Go ahead. Track 3 is called Restful Intentions, and that's, people have, especially on planet Earth, we have sleep disorders. There's too much computers. There's too much. We're too corded in. What I can't remember. We can't disconnect. We're too into our electronics. So whether it's that, whether you think you have insomnia, whatever the excuse is, you're going to learn how through a process to start to rest and be able to sleep and to get yourself back to sleep when you wake up. Also, it teaches you how to wake up like a minute before your alarm clock so that you're not waking up to a buzzer, you're awake before your buzzer. And also to set your intention the night before for that prosperous day the next day. The last one is called Grounding. And I put out a survey to people who watch my work or listen to my work, and I said, out of everything I do, what would you like a process on, a meditation? And it came back grounding. Get us out of our funk, get us out of our depression, help us get back on track. So those are 4 powerful tracks on the CD of Spirit Life, and that's my gift. Plus, I'm also the founder and editor-in-chief of Bella Mia magazine, not named after me. In Italian, it means beautiful me, and as a self-love body image coach who teaches love, why not look at a magazine that says beautiful me and understand when you're reading it, you're worth it. So everything goes back to the woman, to the man, to the person, understanding and loving themselves. And so that magazine is chock full of transformational information, articles to get from one point to another, whether it's your self-love, whether it's your body image, whether it's your sexual wellness, whether it's your business, whether it's jumping out of your paradigm. There's so much in there, and just check it out. And so we are going to be a paid subscription next time this year, and so we're giving you about a year free. So sign up for it and enjoy it. It's awesome.
It is awesome. The graphics alone just pop out at you. It's just a beautiful magazine. I absolutely love it. I was checking it out last week. It's kind of scooping out your magazine. So it's a beautiful creation. Beautiful creation. You know, and I know that was your baby project this year.
Yeah, exactly. And
One of them.
Some of the projects, some of the bigger projects had to be put on hold because this is, when it was first published, there was literally an energetic ripple that felt like the walls were coming in on me, not in a bad way, but this abundance, this energy of power was trying to push its way towards me. And when you know that everybody who comes in contact with it, whether it's the literally, get this everybody, 50 people who work on the magazine, whether they're, you know, department heads or whether they're writers. I mean, this all came together this year in 2015. So it's energetically, it calls you. People say it has a life of its own. So, you know, enjoy the life of Bella Mia. It's
absolutely.
awesome.
I like those kind of projects. You can always feel it's going to be big too.
Yeah, and did I tell you? I don't know if I told you because, like you, I'm like I love to share things with people. We're up to 25,000 readers a week.
Wow.
25, and this is only the first one came out March 1st. The second one, the June, July, and now we're just publishing the August, September issues. So for 3 magazines coming out, or 2 technically,
yeah,
that's some big stuff. That's big mojo going on.
That's amazing. Those are great
I
numbers.
know.
How exciting.
People are like, oh, it's a coaching magazine. Okay, if you think so. We're up to 150 pages now in this new one. If you think it's a coaching magazine, okay. It's awesome.
I think it's amazing. I loved it. And just to, I like the digital part, of course. You're on your iPad and just kind of flipping through things. I love it. Well, you are just a breath of fresh air. I love all of this talk, especially when it relates to business and how important it is to be aligned inside. The inner work is so important. The external work is so outside of us and can be all screwed up when we can't figure out what's going on. But especially just to go back a hair to the beginning of the interview is the confidence piece, especially because I've had clients where they're like, okay, I'm going to do this, but this isn't going to work. You can hear and feel them saying, this isn't going to work. I don't want to do this. And they're like, mini sabotage shows up just like, oop, they just like screw up this and then they screw up that. And it does go back to that alignment then. So I'm going to make all my clients listen to your CD.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I can't work with you. You need a clean slate.
And I do have to say that the way you're going to explode faster is by working on your mindset, working on your garbage, and understanding yourself and becoming confident. That is, as Carrie just said, that's really the way to get through so that you can be a powerful business person, because without all those things that we just said, the confidence and all that, you're fighting against yourself. So it's like you're going up current in a riptide. You're fighting against a riptide.
Yeah.
And I know that Carrie also went through this. So when we get out of the riptide, we realize, oh my God, it's so smooth. And that's what the beauty happens. Yeah.
Why did I fight that for so long? That's just silly.
Exactly.
Yes, our ego likes hard and struggle sometimes. It thinks, now it's worth it. I had to fight so hard. Now it's worth it somehow. So it's all good. I'll let you go. Thanks a million for being a part of our Business by Design Summit and showing us how to take our purpose to profits. And I'm going to go get that CD right now. So I got work to do, guys.
Thank you for letting me come on and talk with you guys. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mia. Bye, hon. Bye, everybody.